Welcome once again to the Phil Taylor Jones Show. We're going to be talking about the debate that was for the Democrats last evening. And this time, folks, I'm going to really try to hang on to my temper because, boy, oh boy, I said some things last night that Webster don't know nothing about. And I'm trying to not say them on the show today. So I'm going to try to hang on to it. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and let's jump into this total mess right now. As you know, the Democratic candidates are Slithery Clinton and Bernie Together Sanders. And I'm not going to really even talk about them today because I've got so much in me against what I saw last night. And it wasn't necessarily against these two people. Although I, don't care for one of them, Slithery Clinton, at all. And don't care for Bernie Sanders either because he's, talking about how good old bastard is. I don't like him either. But the focus isn't on those two. Although, let me get one thing out of the way about Sanders. Like I said, you've got to be one class A1 butt kisser today to run for president because you got to watch what you say and how you say it or when you say it because everybody is just on you like a tick on a proverbial dog. The guy was asked a question in the last debate about how he would feel as far as blackness, or racism in this country. And he went on to say that being a little white Jewish fella, that he wasn't savvy to a lot of things that black folks have to go through, like, living in total poverty, living in a ghetto, living under police brutality, or being drug out of a car, or being ignored because you're a certain color, or being hated because you're a certain color. Although he did say that his father was from Poland, and they had the stigma being Jews, and he kind of could empathize with black folks on that score about being discriminated against. But he mentioned the word ghetto, and the next day there was a firestorm against the guy for saying ghetto. Oh, he's being racist. He's being this. Let me just give you a little information here about the word ghetto. And a lot of Americans don't seem to know this, obviously. And the news whores are at the forefront of this. A ghetto is a part of a city in which members of a minority group live, especially because of social, legal, or economic pressure. The term was originally used in Venice, that's in Italy, to describe the part of the city where Jews were restricted and segregated. So the man wasn't off the mark in using the term ghetto. But you got to be careful about what you say. That's why I wouldn't have no business with this political crapola. Okay, now on to this debate. It was done by Univision. Why, I don't know. I have a big problem with that. The other big problem I have is that the debates should be on Channel 2, Channel 4, or Channel 7. Those are our national channels. If you can't hold a debate on either of those two or three stations, don't hold a debate. There again comes that stupidity and greed. Okay? We shouldn't have to run all over the computers and tablets and phones or whatever trying to find something that is so crucial to our lives, and that's electing a new leader. So you idiots in the Democratic National Party and the Republican, you need to think about that thing. If you can run a car chase for 3 hours, or talk about a brush fire for 3 hours, then they can put on the presidential debates for 2. It's something Americans need to see. Having said that, this Univision Spanish station, I don't want to see an American program or something having to do with Americana on a Spanish station where they're talking, translating, and the other people is trying to speaking in English, and you got to hear 15 different voices, like listening to a bunch of rats in a cheese factory squeaking. I don't need to hear that. I didn't sign up for that. It was ludicrous and unwanted, unneeded. Whose America is this anyway? And these moderators. Oh boy. Maria Elena Salinas and the infamous Jorge Ramos. That's that little bastard that Donald Trump had to throw out because he was such a little pit bull just having to get his questions in. And it wasn't just the Trump man, because he exposed himself last night as being the little dirtbag that everybody thought he was during the Trump incident. And I'll explain that in a bit. And then we had an American lady named Karen Tumulty, who, if it weren't for her, no issues facing this American country would have been raised. This Jorge Ramos, now I don't like Slithery Clinton, anybody knows me knows that, but Slithery did nothing wrong last night in this aspect of this foreign debate. She was asked a question, they were talking about immigration, which permeated the basic whole thing. And she was asked, along the subject of children coming here by themselves on trains or what have you, whether or not she would be a deporter-in-chief like supposed bastard is, or would she not deport kids? And he was very dogmatic about, I want you to promise me, I want you to tell me whether or not you'll deport children. So she answered, no. Well, she gave somewhat a little bit of rhetoric, but she said, no, I will not deport. Well, I want to get this clear. You will not deport children. She said, yes, no, I will not deport children. I've been here for children, you know. Well, let me get this clear. This bastard asked that question but 4 times. I think, you know, and like I said, I'm not trying to hold up for Slithery, but if I had been her, I would have said, look, you little bastard, I answered your question the first time. So don't ask me a stupid question like that again, or I might be inclined to come down there and stick my dainty little foot up your ass. That guy is disgusting. Donald shouldn't have just thrown him out. He should have kicked him out. Then this Maria Elena Salinas is another. Ooh. Another question was asked of Slithery and of Bernie Sanders too. What would she do to increase the financial, shall we say, infrastructure for Latinos? So Slithery went on to answer that she had in her plan a proposal to get new jobs, high-paying jobs, to bring jobs home. If there were any corporations that wanted to leave and take jobs with them, they'd have to pay a substantial tax or remittance before they could leave. Her aim is to bring jobs so that everybody in America can earn a decent living. This cow, Maria Elena Salinas, oh, well, you didn't answer my question. What are you going to do specifically for Latinos? I would have told her, look, cow, I am running for president of the United States. I'm not running for the presidency of the Latinos. Everybody in this country gets a fair shake that's an American. And one of the reasons we're in such a hell of a mess is because we've been given more than a fair shake to all of you illegals that have come over here too. So don't you sit there and try to put me in a trick bag by asking me a question about one succinct group of people when I'm running for the presidency of all the people. Don't ask me a dumbass question like that again. Then they had some people standing up asking questions. They had one woman, after the topic was raised about immigration and deportation. She's mother with 4 kids, stood up, couldn't even speak English, talking about her husband was deported and that left a hole in her family because now she has to scuffle and scrape for her 4 kids. And it wasn't right that her husband would be deported and break up the family. Then that the guy that was standing there, he had to translate, And they had this weird thing going on where he's like whispering, it looked like he's trying to kiss her or something. You know, it was just disgusting. And I would have said, yes, I fully agree with you. We shouldn't have ever kept you away from your family or split your family. So we're deporting your ass and your 4 kids back to where you come from so you can be with your husband. I mean, good Lord, man, if I ever needed a puke bucket, it was at that time. Then another one stood up, young one, 20 years old, going to college. And you mean to tell me she can't speak English? She spoke Spanish. Then they had to translate for her. I mean, come on. What the hell kind of country are we running here? Where we let foreigners make us do their bidding. A presidential debate should have never been held on a Spanish station. What the hell is wrong with you? It's ludicrous. Then they got into this, Jorge Ramos and Elena Salinas got into some crap that was totally off the rails. Like, who bloody cares? They were talking about Cuba and what the United States should do with Cuba. Who the hell cares about Cuba but Cubans? It has no part of what was going on here in the United States. First of all, Castro and his brother are not going to give up their communism. Communism, I'm talking Russian, back in the day, USSR communism. I'm talking Red China communism. Not the little socialist stuff that Bernie Sanders is talking about. I'm talking about staunch communism where they're all up in your business 24/7, 365, and you better not fart too loud unless they plug your butt. Communism. No, just all like all these other crappy deals that old bastards made with the Iranians and the creepy Koreans and everything. Did the same thing with this Cuban stuff. That place was on the bad list. It should have stayed on the bad list, as far as I'm concerned. Then this Elena Salinas creep comes up talking about the Contras and the Sandinistas down there in Guatemala and El Salvador and places like that. What the hell does that have to do with what's going on here in America? The one thing they did talk about that had some relevance was Puerto Rico. Now, while Puerto Rico isn't necessarily a state, it's like a municipality or some kind of, it's connected to the United States. I find it ironic that Puerto Rico is in such financial strife, partially, because of their own doing. But if they're connected with the United States, then we should have some kind of allegiance to them. Now, old bastard would send $150 billion over to some crooked deal in Iran, but would fail to help out these people that are under the American umbrella. That just shows what kind of stupid politics they're going through. So, I mean, they did raise that point, but this whole thing last night just sickened me to no end. When in the hell did we start departmentalizing our country? I guess when all these damn foreigners came here. That was a crazy question. But I'm sick of it. And that, again, leads me directly to the Trump man, because he wants to stop this garbage. And like I said, he's a little too soft on him as far as I'm concerned, because I'd shut the damn door. You would not get in this country anymore on any score. I tell the American citizens that work abroad, you better bring your butt home. You got 6 weeks, because we're closing the door. And it ain't going to be open again until about 70 years from now, if then. Those that are already here, that 11 million, I'd keep them here. Except for the ones that are really horrible and throw their butts out, the murderers and whatever. But the rest of them, I'd keep them here. I wouldn't try to deport them. I'd put them all in a big old concentration camp or a detainment center. And it wouldn't be a private one. It would be one that's run by the government so we could ensure their health and their safety and what have you. It would have everything on it. It would have its own police department. It would have medical facilities and schooling systems, educational system. There would be one on the West Coast. There won't be one in the Midwest, and there'd be one in the East, in the total East. 3 centers for all of these people, so they can come there and get themselves right. Now, here's the way you can become a United States citizen. If you enter a war in the military and you go over there and serve your country, and you come back with an honorable discharge, you'll get your citizenship. Okay? But you've got to serve at least 4 years in the military, and then you become a citizen. The other way is you'd have an ankle monitor on, just like prisoners. And you'd be allowed, you get on the bus, work detail, you go out and you work. You're going to pay taxes. When you come back home, you're going to go to school. You're going to learn. You're going to do your coursework, your methodology to become a United States citizen. At the completion of that, the successful completion, the ankle bracelet comes off, you're handed your citizenship papers and your little flag, and you are out in the mainstream because now you're an American citizen. I would not waste another dime on them trying to get them out of here. I'd make them work for their ups. And, no path to citizenship. You're going to work. You ain't get no free path. You're going to work your butt off, and you're going to become a citizen. And then you can be American. But, I mean, this is crazy. Univision. What the hell is that? And none of the people in the audience spoke English? But the candidates got to go there and be questioned by them. And the way they interrupted Sanders. See, because Slithery is for them. There was this woman that I saw on telly the other day. Her name is Dolores Huerta. Ugh. She was disgusting in the way that she sucked up to Clinton, because Clinton, talks about what she's going to do for Latinos. And that's the reason they basically gave her the floor. Every time Bernie tried to say something, okay, Senator, okay, they didn't ring bells, but they interrupted the man on every score. One time she didn't say something that they necessarily wanted to hear, and then they shut her up. You see how self-serving and opportunistic that is? That crap should not be allowed in this country. Boy, it's a good thing I'm not president, because there'd be some stuff going on. No more free rides, no more free driver's licenses, and then all that kind of thing for them. This is crazy. And now they're talking about there's an upsurge in hit and runs. They don't know how to drive, or they're full of dope or liquor or something, or in a hurry. They're always in a hurry to go somewhere to do nothing, and they're running over people. Well, you might say, well, Phil, American people run over people too. Yeah, this is true, but why is there such an upsurge in hit and runs, accidents in general? I don't even have my car anymore because I got hit by a damn foreigner. Now I'm out there scraping and scuffling, trying to get myself another car because of idiocy. If they had let that bastard stay over there in Korea, I wouldn't have had my car all torn up. But she ran the red light and hit me because she was whacked out on drugs. You can't breathe for them. They're nothing more than opportunists. Oh, well, if they haven't broken the law, then they can say, when you put a toe across in our American soil, you broke the law. Why can't people understand that? And then you just give them everything. Our presidential debate for our American leader on a foreign-ass station. That's all, brother. That rips it. So, yeah, I don't have much to say about Clinton or anything. This crap should not be going on. Like I said, it's a good thing I paid a big price for that television, or I would have busted it last night, and I'd be out looking for a new one. Oh, will you promise me? Promise me. Who can promise you anything, you bag of crap? Let me turn it over to the exec before I really say something nasty.
As if I didn't get mad about it, was hollering at the TV a little bit myself. You know, when I get really frustrated or angry about something, or somebody's bothering my brother, or anything, anything that just pisses me off, it kind of bothers my forehead. You know, my frontal lobes, or the area right above my eyebrows. Watching all of that mess last night was making my forehead hurt. I was so angry about it. You know, to number one, like you alluded to, not to have it on TV. The thing was lagging and jittering and everything. It shouldn't be like that. The debates for this Obasser and everything were on TV.
Yeah.
8 years ago, now everything's on the internet. Just because Google Chromecast came out and Miracast and all them other dongles, I guess they call them, doesn't mean you have to put it on the internet only. And one time they blocked everybody except for the people that were paying for a cable subscription to get on there. I had to find it on some kind of website that does like similar to bootleg movies that aren't actually out yet to get that live. Someone actually was nice enough to go in there and record it and put it on a website. I was lucky I found it, and that's not right. It's so important to America to try to find a new leader, and that should not be. It should be on television. And as far as all these questions and everything, that Jorge Ramos was utterly ridiculous. There was no excuse to ask a question 4 times. The third time he asked it, she said directly twice, "No, I will not deport children," and exactly word for verbatim, "No, I will not deport children." So the 4th time he asks it, his questioning was along the lines of, "So are you telling me that when you become president of the United States, or if you become president of the United States, that you will not deport children?" Well, hello, if she answered no earlier, doesn't that mean if she became president that she would still not do the same thing? Why do you have to clarify that and make it permeate into people's brains and just drive it into people's brains like that? This whole thing was an immigration debate.
It was.
99.99% of it was about immigration and what they're going to do for them.
Yeah.
And in and of itself, this debate being the way it was with this Spanish channel and being 99.99% asked about immigration was a slap in the face to Americans, in my opinion. You know, they're basically saying we're more important, because if they had the right mind to do the right thing, it would have been a mixed debate about all the important issues like the previous debates on other channels and stations have been. By doing this, they're slapping us in the face and saying we're here, we're more important than you, and we don't need to accommodate you by having your language. We'll do our language anyway, and that wasn't right at all. That wasn't right, in my opinion. I got extremely frustrated too myself, and before I get even more mad thinking about stuff that pisses me off, I'll pass it back over to you.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing, and I think we alluded to this in another show, the worst possible thing you can do for anybody, unless it's a loved one, a family member, is express how much you need them, because that gives them an up over you. You need us. You can't have a president unless you get our vote. Say, we don't need you for anything. Who is in whose country? We're not over there in your country. You're in our freaking country. You need us. So you need to get on board and get with the damn program. Because you're over here trying to be opportunistic in our country and take from us. It's not the other way around. So we don't need you for nothing. If you want to vote, then go ahead and vote. But you're not going to stop this political process from happening. It's going to happen with or without your stinking little stupid vote or your stinking little stupid program. And that Jorge Ramos guy, ooh, he makes my skin crawl.
Me too, bro.
And then it's this creeping, the way she looked with her condescending look, this Maria Elena Salinas. Oh, God, disgusting spectacles. Karen Tumulty did come in with a few good questions and got it back on the American political realm that it should have been in, instead of just, what are you going to do for us? What are you going to do for us? What are you going to open the church yet for us? What are you going to do for us? But you didn't answer my question. What are you going to do for us specifically? Like, this is so damn important. God. Take your ass back to where you came from. That's the whole friggin' problem with the country now. We have given until it hurts. Now we don't have anything for ourselves. $21 trillion in debt for taking care of them and their sniveling ass problems, going over there fighting somebody else's dumbass wars that we shouldn't even be in. And some idiot, oh, well, the Sharia law. Why aren't more women in America concerned with the women over there in Sharia law? Because it's none of our damn business.
Mm-hmm.
Women got enough problems trying to take care of their own stuff over here without it worrying about them. It's their country, it's their law. Keep your nose out of everybody else's business. And let these damn foreigners stay in their own damn country. Because all they do is come over here and try to take over. And it needs to stop now. Damn it.
Can't forget getting free licenses to run over those
This
people.
stupid Governor Moonbeam,
Mm-hmm.
Governor Brown here in our own home state of California. Not only has he given these idiots driver's licenses and free insurance and probably cars too, now he's trying to follow old bastard's lead. In fact, no, he's not trying, he did it. He made it possible for them to vote. Don't have paper the first, but they can vote. What the hell is that? Do you think that any one of them idiots down there in Mexico in their political muckety-muck society would give an American a free right to vote? Hell no. I mean, you know, Khrushchev said it best. He said, America's a great country, but it's a stupid country run by stupid political muckety-mucks. You should never, ever give any foreign bastard free reign in your country. If you think I'm wrong, as I said before in another show, I challenge you. You go out in the street and you find 12 foreigners. You give them free reign in your house. Give them keys to your cars. Give them keys to the door. Give them your ATM card or your passbook to the bank account. Will you do that? Are you that idiotic that you would do that? Well, then think of the United States, because this is our home. And we should not be giving it away to the damn foreigners.
It's supposed to be us first.
American people come first in everything. You think we need a president with a last name like Cruz or Rubio? Hell no. So the only type of person we should have in the White House is an American person. We have given too much. We've given till it hurts, and I'm bloody tired. What's bloody wrong with you? Gonna try to be nice, because the last time I got this angry, I ended the show on a very sour note, and again, I apologize for that. We thank you so much, as always, for being a part of our show. And, you know, a lot of people have asked me and just, you know, Phil, why do you look at this crap? Well, we here at the Phil Taylor Jones Show try to give you both sides. You know, we're not just going to tell you one side of the story. There's two sides, and we try to give you both sides. We talk about Republicans, we talk about Democrats, because, you know, you have a right to know, and we're trying to provide a service. So we thank you so much for putting up with us and liking us and what have you. But folks, we got to do something, because we're getting nowhere fast, and we're losing out big time. And we know the Democrats are not the ones to do it, because look at what they've done in the soon-to-be 8 years they've had. The Republicans, they haven't done much better. You know, first we had to put up with Boehner and his group. Now we got to put up with this pitiful Paul Ryan. And, you know, we never get to any kind of concrete setting, you know. So I'm willing to try the Trump man and see what he's going to do. But something's got to be done. We thank you. We love you. And we'll see you next time right here on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Bye-bye.